This all started when I was watching a brief video, a YouTube short by Knitting Cult Lady, where she was addressing the issue of, well, basically she was explaining that a military coup to supplant Donald Trump wouldn't solve anything. It was a bad idea. Because once the military has deposed Trump, what then? Who will take over? And that raised a question in my mind. What is going to happen when Donald Trump is gone, irrespective of the reason? Be it Big Daddy D, be it impeachment, be it resignation, as if that's going to happen, or whatever. That Donald Trump essentially is no longer president before the elections occur. So what happens then? So to me, it broke down into three main issues or categories: the presidency, the MAGA movement, and Donald Trump's estate. So those three areas, I think, are going to be the major concern amongst all his sycophants and other people in power. So after a few minutes consideration, it's easy to see that this whole issue just becomes one hot mess. Let me explain. Okay, let's start with Trump himself. We know for a fact that Trump is a selfish git. His philosophy is nihilist. Nothing matters except him. He is, in many ways, the ultimate capitalist. So the issue is Trump is now gone, be it death or resignation or impeachment or whatever. And so we start with the presidency. So the idea is, who is going to succeed Trump? First of all, will Trump try to appoint a successor? If he is the plenary president, the president with monarchical powers, he will probably try to appoint a successor if he's thought that far. Mary Trump points out that Trump hates death and sickness and weakness, so it's quite possible he hasn't really thought that far. But if he does appoint a successor, that whoever it is probably going to be a patsy, somebody who perhaps will be a figurehead or will remain an outlier. Whoever it is, he'll be sidelined. So things don't look too good for J.D. Vance if he winds up succeeding Trump as the president. However, Trump's efforts to appoint a successor, be it his son Barron, be it Eric Prince, be it his son Trump Jr., but tries to appoint a successor, this will create a huge legal battle. This will really be a constitutional crisis, and the Supreme Court will have to weigh in. I don't have a lot of hope for the Supreme Court. It's very well possible the Supreme Court could rule that, yes, Trump, as plenary president, can appoint a successor, at which point we are in a de facto monarchy. But if they rule that he cannot, we will be a republic. But what kind of republic will it be? Will it be a democratic republic? That doesn't necessarily bode that it will. And incidentally, if the SCOTUS rules that that the successor can be appointed, making it a monarchy, that pretty much puts Congress out of action, unless they become something like a rump parliament of some sort to just rubber stamp whatever Trump or the president does. Aides, meanwhile, will be left scrambled to survival, and the president of the United States appointed by Trump won't necessarily be the head, the leader or president of MAGA, and we'll get to that in the next part. One thing I forgot to mention, the reason I call J.D. Vance an outlier or being sidelined is that J.D. Vance really doesn't have much of a following. He doesn't have the support. One of the things that Trump could do was deliver votes. This is why MAGA was so powerful. So can J.D. Vance do the same? No. Now he could, as many suspect, marry Anita Kirk, or at least become involved with Anita Kirk, who has Turning Point USA. But even then, with J.D. Vance plus Anita Kirk and Turning Point USA, they can't deliver the votes needed to make something happen. So they're pretty much on the outside looking in.